everyone, today is mission 3 and we're actually going to build your squeeze page today. So log into your ClickFunnels account, go to your share funnel, and we're going to go to the squeeze page and we're going to log in, and the actual funnel itself is super fast. Shouldn't take you that long, but I'm going to show you a few things around this that are important. So the first thing is you're going to come up here and you're going to update the text. And if you want to, you notice that there are two colors here. Inside of a text element, if you bold something, there's the option for a bold color to be different than a text color. And as you can see here, I think that it's important to have what's called copy design. And that means that certain words are more pronounced than others. So let's see, I'm actually going to fix a few things about this. Everything in the headline should be all caps, okay? Typically numbers that are less than 10 are written out. If you want the numbers to look bigger, put a comma in it. Free all caps is fine. I actually prefer though that if you want to accentuate something, I would rather see it bolded. Okay, if you want different sizes, you're going to actually need to have two different elements because you can't do two different sizes, just so you know. So make that headline as big as you want. This is pretty short. I mean, I would say probably the size it was is pretty good, but you can also underline the thing that you want to like highlight. You can also do this. I'm just going to show you this option where you do the ... and then we can duplicate it. And oops, I'm going to italicize it like that. So this is another like headline style you can do, where we're going to actually shrink that size down like this and pull it up. Now, one bad habit is when the words are orphaned. So that means there's just one word on the next line. So I would actually bring it so that it would go like that. So it would all fit. I'm going to add just a little bit of margin. You can see here. Right? So that's another way that you could do your headline as well. Okay, so go ahead and switch it around. A couple other things to note. You can also change your fonts here, your font families. You can also add an icon on the front. So if you ever want to be like, hey, pay attention, right? You can create over here. You can go to icon picker and you can do I like the exclamation sometimes, right? So then that creates that sense of hey, pay attention. You can actually set up the icon color right here, icon color. You can do borders around it. You can do, if you wanted to, you could do a text shadow. I'll do a strong shadow so you can see how it kind of pops it out like that. All right. So get your headline. Your headline is the most important part of this entire page. So spend time on your headline. Make sure that the words, every single word, every single underline, bold, italics really is necessary, because that's really all you're focusing on here on this whole thing. If you're not a big fan of the pointing arrow, you can go ahead and get a static arrow if you want. You can, buy one on Creative Market, or you could just use this one. So if you decide you want to not have an arrow at all, what I would do is I would go and hit Add New Row and do 2 columns, and then drag this in like this, and like this, right? Now, obviously, that's if you don't want the arrow. You see how this is kind of lopsided, this is super big and this is super small. You got all this blank space here. You don't really want that. So I would click and drag so it's a little bit more even. You can also add margin like this so that it kind of falls more in the middle. Oops. Okay, so that's if you wanted to get rid of your arrow and not have an arrow at all. And you can see how this background was yellow. And if you want to create that background yellow, to actually create individual background colors, you have to go up here to columns. And then you hover until you find the one you're looking for, which is right here. And then you can go ahead and set up a general like background color. Now you see how that looks really bad because there's no padding. You want to add padding here. There's a lot of padding, but that's because I'm also using a margin. So I'm going to have to go in and fix that in a minute. And you go padding down, and then you can actually do padding like this. Okay, and so now that looks kind of silly. So now I have to shrink up the margin like that. As you can see here, there's an orphan word. I don't like orphan words, so I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger, and then I'll probably center justify it. Okay. On this column, by the way, I just want to show you, you can do other things besides just color. You can go over to advanced, and you can add a full border if you want. I would probably do a 1 pixel border if I was going to do it, and I'd make it lighter, just, yeah, like that. You can also add a shadow so that it pops out. So the more shadow you do, the more it's like, wah, 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 wah. And that's a super official design term, wah, 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 wah. All right. So in terms of the actual margin of the column, that is, yeah, you can actually do this, and this will move this margin of the column, the color block. Boom. All right, so there you have, if you want to just do the, and actually you could go like this now because that actually works out nice. Okay, so there's an alternate design that I'm just showing you. I'm just trying to give you some design tips, although the arrows are super, super effective. If you're not sure if you want to use it, just go here, click like this, and click hide, and then it will hide it, and you can always get it back in case you're like, The only other thing is, pay very close attention to what this says. I'm ready for this, like a call to action. Now in funnel scripts, you can actually go, there's a call to action script where you can get different ideas for how you want to word, download my report, right? That's more powerful than download the report, okay? You can also go over here and grab an icon picker, and I like the down arrows because it's like, more like action based. And then you can also put something here that's like, it will arrive immediately in your inbox or something like that. You could put like a subtext if you want. Okay, then at the bottom, go ahead and add your disclaimer and your footer. When you're done with that, you can actually save it either as a row. Yeah, because this is all just in one section, isn't it? Yeah. So you can save this as a footer. And then on the next page, when I tell you to go update your footer, you can literally just grab it and plop it in there, and you don't have to like set up the links and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about the links for a minute. So if you go here and you highlight this and you hit the link button, it will turn it into a link. And so this is where you can put a link to your footer, your website or your domain or whatever. Okay. And then if you want to, you can create this so that it opens up in a new window if you click that little button. And then you can come over here and change the color of the link. Okay. And then now that's linked. If you want it to look like it's a link, you'd have to actually like highlight all of this and then hit underline, and now it will show. All right, sweet. So I'm not going to save this because I just completely changed it around from the original share funnel. I just realized I didn't duplicate it. I should have. All right, so there we go. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Now, that's from a design perspective. If you want to swap out your image, just click on the setting button, hit here, upload your image that you want, and it will show up here. So like if I wanted to switch out my image, I think if I do something like, here we go. Hold on, let me find one that's good, or one that actually would need some adjusting maybe. Okay, here, so I do the 30 days book. There we go. You can actually set the width here. It will fill up the whole space unless you specify for it to be smaller. So if you specify it over here on width, don't do width and height because you don't want that, because it will like distort. But if it looks good, then you can just leave it to be whatever it needs to be. Okay? All right, so next I want to talk about the settings. So the settings of this page. The first thing is go into general settings, and you can decide if you want to show or hide the affiliate badge. The affiliate badge shows on the bottom. If you want to hide it, you can go ahead and click hide here, okay? Next, go over here and go to SEO metadata. We're gonna write what is the title, right? So free video report, and then you can just put your SEO description. What is it? You can put some keywords, your name, and then also it's going to ask for an image URL, and you really want to do this because otherwise when you paste this link somewhere, there's no image that's going to appear. So let's just add like an image. Oops, I don't know why that didn't work. Oh, because I was on the wrong. Why did it change over there? That's silly. There we go. So make sure you have an image so it's very clear. Okay, here's the image, here's the title, here's the description, here's the author, right? This is the preview of how it's going to look. For some reason, that changed. I'm not sure why. Once in a while, guys, this is just like a little glitch that sometimes happens. If you're on a page here, it like jumps back to the first page. It's super annoying, but it's not you, okay? If that happens to you. All right, so then the next thing we want to talk about is how does this report get delivered? It has to be delivered via email, right? Why? Because on the next page, we're going to be busy selling them an offer. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to attach our report, our training, whatever it happens to be, we're going to attach it to this page so that when people opt in, they will get it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm actually going to end this video and start a new video because that's just a more technical piece. But in order to make sure that's all going to work properly, the button action has to be set. Now it's set correctly, so assuming you don't touch anything, it'll work. But I want to show you this just for your learning. Every button has a set action feature. And so you can choose which actions you want that button to do. So it can open a pop-up, it can do a Facebook opt-in, it can go to a URL, it can go to the next step in a funnel, it can scroll, it can have a click push prompt, it can show or hide different sections of the page. Whenever you are taking information, name, email, credit card, the set action button must be on submit order or submit form. So make sure it's set to that, and it should be. And then each one of these input boxes here should also be set to whether you want, like if you want it to be just first name, this one should be set to email, which is what you want, and it is obviously required. If you're going to just do first name, I would actually type first name here so people know that you want just first name, okay? I like first name. All right, so that's it. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to turn on mobile, and you're going to look at mobile and see if it looks good, right? Now, this is super big for mobile. It doesn't need to be that big. So we're going to go into the settings, and we're going to adjust the mobile size of the font. And we're going to bring that down to like probably 25, maybe 30. The nice part is it will not affect the desktop version. It'll only show up on mobile. If, however, you adjust anything else, like if you adjust the margin, those will affect both desktop and mobile. So the only thing that you can do is do mobile in the actual font size. And I would change everything so that it looks similar in ratio. So basically, like this was bigger than this on desktop, so on mobile, this should be bigger than this, okay? Now this is the same, almost the same size as the headline, so it's too big. We got to bring it down. Now it looks better. Images, unfortunately, only have one size. So when you upload your image, make sure you're not uploading a huge file, right? A huge file that's like 8,000 gigabytes, because it will show huge here. It will make the page load slowly. So try to save it as small size as possible. And then here, I'm gonna bring that down a tad like this. And then this button also looks kind of funny. So I'm going to edit the mobile size of the button. Now sometimes, let's say, yeah. In fact, I think that would look actually better to do 2. And then if I can change this, probably like that. That looks good. And then you could probably make this even smaller on mobile. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So now it has the correct perspective, like the correct ratio. And then if you go back to desktop, it looks exactly the same. All right, so in the next video, I'm going to show you the technology behind how you deliver that free report via email and attach that asset to this page. But so all I want you to do is go in here, design it, get it pretty, save it, and preview it. And then I'll see you in the next video.